All right, Bang. Today is Wednesday. It's September 28th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. Hannah's out today, and it's myself and Danny. I always fuck up the days because we don't record on the day of. Mm-hmm. So it's now Monday.
We're going to miss a lot of news between now and Wednesday.
I know, we will, but I have a work thing tomorrow, so I'm not able to record tomorrow. So we're recording a couple days early.
What's the worst thing that's ever happened when you pre-recorded and like a lot of news has passed during the time of the release?
Oh, back in the day, I actually have a quick answer for you. Back in the day, we did a True Crime Friday, and the person was found by the time the episode aired.
So what, you just got to do a quick voiceover or something?
We did an update, I think it was, or we might have just completely re-recorded. I forget exactly what we did, but that sucked.
That's tough.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's what you get for trying to get the work out.
Get ahead?
Yeah, get ahead.
Well, the show's like, if you're not ahead, you're behind. Like, I know, like, you know, like every day, and especially like we got to give these producers time to make the clips and turn it around and like make it sound good and everything. So like it's just not ideal to get here at like 7 a.m. and like pump these out. Not to mention I'm not in the fucking not exactly a 7 a.m. guy.
That sucks. The body was found and they're okay. Fuck, we gotta re-record.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on. A little peek behind the curtain right there, Dan.
There we go.
I like that for behind the scenes Wednesday. That's not even the theme, but regardless. I do want to talk about Chevy Drive Chicago, though, Danny, before we get going.
Same.
ChevyDriveChicago.com. It has what you need for the road. And now they want to fuel your football season. You can enter for a chance to win a $500 gift card to cover your tailgate party, gas to get to the game, and whatever you might need to host the ultimate tailgate. There will be multiple winners, which is nice. It's not just one and done, 500, see you later. So enter to win at ChevyDriveChicago.com. And remember, there's nothing like a tailgate with a Chevy Silverado. You're thinking about getting a Silverado, aren't you?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, and now I'm even more inclined to. I can win a free prize on top of that with free gas. Mm-hmm. All that whole 500 is probably going to gas.
Exactly. You're due for an upgrade.
I've been due for a new car. I've never had a new car in my life. I've had a decade-old car every time I've gotten a car.
All right, let's get you a nice Silverado, Danny.
Sure. Thank you, Chevy.
And if you're out there looking for a new car as well, you could check out all you need to know about the new Silverado at ChevyDriveChicago.com. Go do it. All right, Danny, how are you?
Not too bad. I had a hot start to my day. So I have
Does not sound good.
I have a homeless fella who creeps around my neighborhood.
Ooh.
And one of the first encounters I ever had with him, me and my buddy were outside of a bar, and there was a lady walking towards us, and the homeless guy was about 40 yards behind her, and she says, "Hey, just a heads up, this guy's going to walk past you, and he always spits on people." So we're like, oh, okay, well, we can't like run and scurry like some cowards. And sure enough, he gets closer, and we just hear and we're like hiding behind cars in the middle of the street, like, "Hey, get out of here." He's like trying to circle around the car, whatever, come back, get us. Eventually he leaves. And this morning, I'm like, still got sand in my eyes. I'm walking to my car, and I see him like 10 yards away from me as I'm walking to my car. So now I have to cross the busy street, Irving, take time out of my morning just to not get spit on by this homeless guy. And it's becoming a real problem.
So that's what you had to do? So you crossed the whole street?
Well,
and you had to come all the way back?
Yeah, I was in a weird position where it was like I couldn't, like, going back to my apartment and waiting it out would have probably just taken as long as crossing the street. So, yeah, but what do you do when you're going up against a guy who has nothing to lose, who's just spitting on anyone who crosses his path? Not much.
Dude, how many times do you think this guy's gotten dropped?
I don't know, man. He looks like he's might have taken a couple of haymakers to the face, but he's like this old, like Italian-looking homeless guy.
Really?
Rare. Yeah. Like
now,
he just has a huge
spitting
nose.
is assault.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can't spit on someone. I mean, I'm sure the cops know that guy in and out. Mm-hmm. Like, so many people, like, if you're not going to hit the guy, like, you're going to fucking call the cops and be like, "Hey, this guy spit on me."
But this guy is just, like, so incoherent. You know, it's just like, you're not going to be like, sit down and wait. The cops are coming. Be like, "Wah!"
You should have tried him again. Maybe he was just having a bad day that day.
For someone to come up to me like, "Hey, I know this guy spits on people," means that they've had multiple encounters with him.
I thought it was like, "Hey, this guy just spit on me. He might spit on you too."
She's from like the neighborhood.
Okay.
I saw her walk into her apartment after. That's how I know.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I have sympathy for for the homeless, but like to a point. There's always to a point.
Right.
Like, come on, dude. You can't just be.
Yeah, you could be homeless, you just can't be a maniac.
Yeah, you can't be crazy. Yeah, which unfortunately in some cases goes hand in hand.
You see, there was like a viral Reddit post going around the other day, and it's this guy who talked about how he just turned homeless. He's like, honestly, my life's been so sick lately. Like, I take all the drugs I want. I spent like 5 hours the other day just climbing a tree for a great sunset view. I have no worries. I bust in every girl I meet.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Oh my
He's just
God.
romanticizing being homeless. We've talked about this before, like selling seashells on a beach.
Yeah, dude.
As like you're living and just all you have to worry about is like the shack that you go home to every night and like having enough for a meal a day.
Yeah, dude. I've thought about this before too. Like there was like I've had a brief moment where I was like, dude, what if I just turned into a shut-in? Like there's enough good TV and like I could probably start playing some video games and like, fuck, if I'm making like, I don't know, 30, 40 grand, like if I don't leave, like I could just sit here and like just be a loser.
Yeah, you could just have live in
Not
like
a loser for the people out
right,
there,
but like you could live in like a garden apartment, you know.
Yeah, just be a hermit.
Yeah, you're not buying anything fancy.
Yeah.
You're wearing all like Walgreens brand clothes, Target
Yes.
brand shoes.
Yes.
You could do it.
That was years and years ago. That was like, those are like struggle days though, where we had those thoughts. Like those were bad days.
We talked about that during the period of like
Yeah.
after graduating college to like we were both like working shitty jobs too. And we're like,
Yes.
fuck it, we'll be homeless.
Yes. That was life when we could not make it to Barstool.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck it, dude. I'll just give up and like.
Like we had legitimate talks. Like, dude, I think like if we just like move to a tropical place, I think I'll be happy.
Dude, yeah, that's what
I think I'll be happy just like selling shoes on the street.
Yes, exactly. I remember it was I think it was Barstool JJ. Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
JJ from the Bronx.
Yes, JJ.
As his fans know him.
Yes, exactly. So he used to be the Yankees writer for Barstool, and I remember I'll never forget the tweet he had, where it was something like this. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, I'm sure, but he's like my friend just was the bartender and made drinks for Derek Jeter in Key West. He's like, now, my friend doesn't have health insurance, but I've also never had drinks with Derek Jeter. You know, so It's like, you look at that and it's like, wow, you know, man, it'd be fucking sweet to live that life. That guy's a fucking he's hanging out, drinking tropical drinks on like, you know, I'm sure it was like February and it's wet, cold and snowy as fuck in New York. But like that guy also like.
That's what it comes down to. Like, does your job give you good benefits? You know, because like bartender could easily be making like 70, 80 a year, depending on the job. But everyone's like, well, it's not a real job. You don't have any benefits.
Yes.
And you're like, well, it's like.
And I didn't mean to assume that.
I know.
Maybe the guy does make decent money, but like.
Sure. Okay. Say even if he was making like 65 or something.
Yeah, whatever.
Like still
or even if he was making less, he was just like literally making like he would go and he'd make, you know, because some bars are pretty fucking dead.
Sure.
You know, he was going home and he was making $50 and he was spending half of that on lottery tickets and cigarettes and a Monster at the gas station before he went home, and like he was taking home 20, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a Monster and a Slim Jim is the meal for people like that.
Yes.
I don't know, not poor, but
Yes.
just like don't give a fuck.
Dude, I had a friend. I had a guy I lived with in college. He was in my frat, and he bounced, and the guy was like always pretty. He was living pretty thin to the wire, you know, paycheck to paycheck, and he was one of those. He had those awful schedules. So if he had to be work at 10 or at 9, he was waking up at like 7 p.m. You know, so like he'd stay up and he was a vampire basically. And so his first meal would be like after work, and like he'd go to like the local pizza shop, get 2 slices for whatever, $8. And then like, you know, in bouncers, you know, you're making like 10 an hour cash or whatever. He's making like $50 working like 10 to 3. And that he'd get his pack of smokes, a Monster, and then he'd owe someone like the power bill, and he'd have like $5 to show for it. You know what I mean? But that's kind of what I had in my head.
Yeah,
when he said that.
That's night shift living.
So yeah, like if you're living like razor thin, like that's just how it is.
But then going back to like, we'd love to do like nothing all day or whatever.
Yeah.
You've been unemployed before. You go fucking crazy within 4 days.
Yeah.
You need some sort of routine.
1,000%. And I would need I would need human interaction.
Totally.
That's why, like I live with two of my friends, and 31. I should probably branch out. You know what I mean? But like, I genuinely like chilling with people.
Same.
Like I do. Like I don't. Like I would be like, oh my god, and I know it's like, oh, get a fucking girlfriend, loser. But it's like, I don't know, whatever. Like I just don't. I like hanging out with people.
I'm in the same boat. We joke. We're like gonna be the new girl house. They're all like 35 and just living with one another. Yeah. But I've never had a desire to really live alone because I know, like, one, it could maybe easily come eventually, and two, like, why not? We're in the era where like you live with your friends.
Yeah,
like, it's a phase of life.
That's the thing too about those fucking New Yorkers. It's like you don't have an option.
Right.
We kind of have an option here.
Hostel.
I mean, granted, it's still a lot more affordable to live with someone. Like, I mean,
totally.
Like our rents are very affordable because we live with two people, and it's like we are able to save a little bit of money, and because of our situation in the city we live in. But those people, like you said, it's not an option.
Right.
So like nobody will ever judge them being like 30 fucking 6, whoever.
Also, New Yorkers like Tom, he bitches, or he jokes with us about like not going out a lot and all that. Mm-hmm. Those people in New York, they live in such like little rundown apartments, so they're probably just dying to get out of their house.
Yeah, that's
why too. They're out so much.
Yeah, that's true too. They're fucking, yes. A lot of them don't have AC. They're just,
right,
hot as fuck all day and just trying to get out of there, go to a bar that's got some AC.
Yeah, get out of the Harry Potter staircase.
No, you're right. And I should also say too, though, I do think that's okay. Like,
what? Not going out so much?
No. I definitely think that's okay. You know that.
Yeah.
I think it's, I don't know. I guess I have mixed views on this. If you didn't try, I don't know.
What are you talking about?
I go back and forth on this.
Living alone, or what are you talking about?
Just like I'm going back to our previous conversation where it's like, fuck it, let's just like have a shitty job and like make 40 and like whatever. Like I'm not also, I hate caveating shit. I talk about this all the time. But like, listen, if you're doing fine, you're making ends meet, I'm happy for you, good for you. Like that's great. Like that's whatever.
Of course, it's a goal.
Yes, exactly. Live your life. I'm not judging you at all. But like, you know what I mean? If that's like a thing where I'm saying that where I think if you're just happy, whatever you're making or whatever you're doing, like that's fine.
Right. We're saying like how many guys on Wall Street are willing to take like 30 grand less a year to reduce their stress?
Yes. Like at some point, do you view complacency as happiness? That's my point. That's what I'm trying to get to in a roundabout way where I'm a pussy and I just don't want to offend people. So I keep fucking caveating shit. Caveat. But you know what I mean, people.
Right.
I'm trying to hammer my point home. But then it's like, I don't know. Everyone says the thing you have control over is trying. Mm-hmm. Right? And I don't mean to make this a fucking Gary Vee speech because I'm not that. But like you get where I'm going here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think those conversations like fuck it, I'll be working a shitty job, blah blah blah. I don't need to doing all this come from being frustrated after trying so hard and not getting what you want.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean.
Uh-huh. For sure. But like I don't know. Like I remember seeing people at like my old job and like there were some great soldiers, Mm-hmm. Like and they'd be able to like I was a PA, so I was a production assistant, and they'd fucking knock that out of the park. And it's like they're never going to be managers and stuff, but like you're always going to need those fucking guys, who are going to be sitting there watching those games and like doing, the shit that someone needs to do it. And it's like if that guy's happy and he's like got enough money to support him and his family or whoever he is, and he's got his rent check covered, and I don't know, is there harm to that?
No, God bless them, especially a job like that. It's plenty of people's dream job to just watch sports all day.
Yeah, but I'm saying in general, though. You know what I mean? Like if you're content, you know what I mean? Like if you like your life, I'm going to name a random profession, like being a barista, whatever you make, and it's like, hey, this is great. I like to work this. I'm pouring coffee 5 to 2, and I'm making these drinks, and I'm interacting with people. I'm helping them go about their day, and like you go home and you're like. I don't know. I think that's fine.
Yeah, not to be Danny V here, but so much of it comes from like, like where we grew up, like, oh, what are you up to right now? I was like, oh, I'm just like, I'm like a construction laborer. It's like, your benefits? Like, oh, not yet. But if you were from, and they're like, oh, you feel shame from that. But if you're from like a small town, whatever, in Kansas, like being like a mechanic, that could be like the ultimate. Like, wow, you're a mechanic. So much of it just depends from that, people's reactions. Like,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it depends on where you are. You're right. Like where we're at, if you get into a union, it's like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, congratulations. Yeah. Like, whatever. And some people are like, oh, like, obviously we don't think that. But like, it is very geographical or demographical,
circumstantial,
and what? Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's an interesting conversation, though. You got a take on this, Mr. Harry?
It's a pretty introspective conversation you guys are having.
I know. I didn't see this. Yeah, exactly. Well, we don't have a girl who's like getting fucking her hair lit on fire and talking about bodies here today. Yeah, so Danny and I are getting a little deep here. Actually, we'll pause the deepness for a second because I do want to talk about our friends at Game Time, Danny. The Game Time app is the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. It's created by fans for fans. Game Time is a new ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. If you haven't given the Game Time app a shot yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. You guys are going to love this app. We've had tons of Barstool fans using it, hitting us up on social about the great deals they are getting. We've been using it all year.
All year.
Yeah.
Been to many games.
White Sox, Game Time. Cubs, Bears, you name it.
Yes.
I actually haven't been to White. Well, I have not been to White Sox.
I have. I think I've been twice.
You have? Okay, yeah.
They helped us with concerts.
Yes.
We went to Fish with Big Cat, me and Tom. They helped us there. So, yes, I've used Game Time probably at least 6 times already.
Yes. So go do it. Go do it. Go do it. Download the Game Time app. Go to the account tab. Create a login and redeem code DOGWALK for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Download Game Time. Last-minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed. And like I guess a more practical example here before we move on. Is like I know someone who had a podcast here at Barstool, and like I was always jealous of how they not jealous of how they, but like I always found it interesting where it's like they showed up, they did their one show, and they kind of like I didn't see them do anything else really, and like they just seemed like kind of content, and they were like, all right, like I'm happy doing this one show. But like here in my head, it's like, oh, you need to find the next great content idea. You need to find this. You need to do this on Reels. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. And I looked at her and I was like, wow, this girl's like,
she's happy.
Yeah, she's going. And I'm not saying I'm not happy. Well, I'm happy too.
Right. A part of it is like ignorance is bliss. Like, yes. Oh, I did it. I have my lifelong goal was to have a podcast at Barstool. Boom, I got it. But then as you get deeper, you're like, hey, well, you're not doing enough on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. And all that. Yes. That's when the stress starts weighing in. So, yeah, ignorance is bliss.
Yes. Like, there are definitely, I mean, look at a lot of Barstool shows here where, like, if they're doing really well, then it's like, all right, like, what's wrong with them?
Validation. Yeah.
Yeah. What's wrong with, I don't know. But then it's like, I don't know. Is there anything against being, like, trying to be in that race to the top? If you just kind of
you always got to be trying.
Yes, you always got to be trying.
You always have to put in effort.
But you always have to strive for fucking...
But yeah, you don't always have to beat your own ass about not, being at the top. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't fucking know. Who am I to say?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hot in here again, Harry. Is it hot in here?
Yeah, I turn the air off.
What, you turn it off?
Yeah. I made the decision. It's like 65 degrees outside. It's 74 in here. That's fine. We had people. Lance did his wardrobe change. Lance comes in shorts, and then throughout the day, as he gets cold, he goes full pants, full
I guarantee
pads.
you he's taking it off right now. He's going back to wardrobe change.
I'm still cold.
You're cold?
Yeah.
In that heavy-ass sweatshirt.
My legs are cold.
Oh, my God.
All right. Changing subjects.
What do you got?
You hosted a fundraiser for Danny Golden yesterday. How did that go?
Yes.
A lot of people there I saw.
Yeah, it was good, man.
Were the nerves shaking?
No, because like I don't know. It's interesting. And a great event, great cause. Obviously, very tragic thing, what happened to Danny. If you guys don't know, he was a Chicago police officer, or he is a Chicago police officer, and he got shot breaking up a bar fight with his friends earlier in the summer, and he's paralyzed from the waist down. So we had a fundraiser, is the northwest side of Chicago, where I'm from, where you're from, to kind of support him. And they reached out and asked me to MC it, and I was happy to do it. Obviously, but some horrible situation, and want to support him. So what were we gonna say?
There was an auction. What was all going on there?
Yeah, silent auction. Raffle, classic fundraiser shit.
I saw, what's his name? Willie Wilson was there.
Willie Wilson, my guy, was there. There was a lot of politicians.
Former guest.
Yes, it's interesting. Former guest, yeah, my guy. And I was like, Willie, we got to take a picture. And I was like, you remember me? He had no idea who I was. And I was like, if you don't remember, also, if you're listening, I mean, this was so long ago now. This was month 2 of this podcast ever. In February, there was a mayoral race, and like there is in most cities. And I had 6 of the candidates on, none of the 6 who won. And I should note, so I hope
you're cursed. You're the Sports Illustrated cover.
I hope I didn't mush any of them. And Willie Wilson was one of them, and it was like one of the funniest interviews ever.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You and Carl, right?
Me and Carl went on this like wild goose chase for Willie, and like we first met him on the southwest side of Chicago, and then like we just like, he's like, oh, Willie's hungry, we're gonna go to Boston Market, you guys just want to follow the car? And we're like, yeah, sure, like well we'll go, and we're following. And then we went to some place on Lakeshore Drive, and next thing we know, we were eating apple pie a la mode with fucking Willie Wilson. And
it was an interview live in the lobby.
Oh, he's at the dinner table.
At the dinner table?
Yeah, live at the dinner table. This guy's legit sticking his fork in his apple pie a la mode, and we're just asking him questions about camping and shit like that.
What are some of the most unique excursions you've had to do for guests like that? Like you've interviewed live in a deli?
Yeah, live in a deli. One time, the exterminator I had on, I don't know if I ever named his name, so I'm not going to do it, but I met him in a parking lot of an abandoned Kmart.
Why?
Because we had the old office, and it was like bad to bring people in, and he was like more towards my neighborhood. I was like, hey man, you want to meet halfway? We'll just do it in my car.
Really?
Yeah, so legitimately I set up the recorder. This guy hopped in my front seat, and we were just in the parking lot in Harlem and Irving, abandoned Kmart, and we just did an interview in my car.
On.
I swear to God. That's no bullshit.
Did you at least have the seats recline back?
No, I mean, I don't want that, but it got weird then. It would have been like a therapy chair.
Yeah, but you guys are so stiff up there, and you got the divider in between it. You got to get a little comfy.
Yeah, that would have been maybe a next time.
Walmart or
Kmart,
parking
Kmart.
lot of a Kmart.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where else.
Do any of your guests ever have riders?
No, nobody's had a rider yet. At least not that I know.
Even if it's like, bring me 2 beef kits, I'll do it.
No. I mean, obviously, I did the Gacy's lawyer because I promised his wife that I'd plug her website.
Oh, yeah, that's common.
Which is like very fair, and like that's how I got him. I have told that story, but now it's kind of been a while. It's been a year now, but I was chasing that guy down for years and years, and like I finally like found his wife's website, and I reached out to her and I was like, hey, I'll plug your business if you tell your husband to do an interview with me.
That's how you get him.
And that's how I got him.
The wife controls what the husband does.
That's how. And now he was in a Netflix doc that they released a couple months ago on Gacy. Trying to think, dude, there's just been so many.
Yeah.
I'm almost at 1,000.
Wow.
Which is fucking bananas.
Truly.
It's a lot of audio.
Man.
But
1,000 episodes?
Yeah.
Or 1,000? Okay.
Almost at 1,000. But back to the fundraiser. No, it was good. It was like I just learned to, at a lot of those things, and especially that when it's like a lot of friends and like it's not a seating like auditorium thing, or there's not tables where they're sitting around. Like a lot of those people just aren't prepared to hear people speak. So I know that, so I don't even fight it, And my rule of thumb is too, if they don't be quiet, because I told you I did our
yeah, you've been emceeing like crazy lately.
I did our high school St. Pat's thing too. I wasn't the MC, but I helped with the auction,
the pep rally.
Yeah, if they don't, if you ever find yourself in a situation, which I don't know, maybe you will. If they don't be quiet for the priest, they're not being quiet for anybody. Like that's just a fucking.
It's a good rule of thumb.
Exactly. So they didn't even quiet for the Father Dan. So I was like, I'm all right,
It is impossible getting a group of 300 plus people to be quiet.
Yeah.
No one is stopping their conversation.
Exactly. Like even like you know, you think of like a concert or something. Like
Yeah.
no one's really quiet. It's just so big of a venue. Now you pack them in there for a fucking nice little. It's loud as fuck.
You just
The
basically have
acoustics.
to like give the instructions or not make the announcement, right? You're not trying to fucking land jokes up there, right? With that many people.
No, it wasn't like there was no like it would have been no one could really hear,
Right.
You know, so that, I mean, but it was great. Like that's what. But to me, that it's not about that, you know. Like it's not something that makes me mad or like that's good. Like people are there to see one another and to help raise money.
Yes.
You know, so it was good, and I think they raised a lot of money. I don't have the official sum, and there was a shit ton of people there. So.
I saw that. That's great.
But that was my answer to if I was nervous. It's kind of low pressure when like
Fair.
nobody hears what's going
No
on.
one gives a fuck about you.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I used to get really nervous about that shit. We've talked about that before, but now getting a little more reps under your belt helps you out. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Have you ever given a best man speech?
I have.
You have? How
I
many?
have, yeah.
Just one?
I've given, I think just one. It's technically like 1.5, but they had a couple friends speak, and it wasn't like it wasn't the best man, but so I guess technically 2, but one real one, like on the stage, like on the main table, and like at a reception hall and shit like that.
Yeah, that's something that you gotta be nervous for because
Yes.
all eyes on you.
I was very nervous about
but
that.
at the same time, like those people are dying to laugh. Like you make the dumbest joke.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get the Drake and Josh laugh track.
Have you given one?
No, I'm apparently not a best friend to anyone.
Well, I don't
No,
think
I'm
a lot of
kidding.
friends are married.
Yeah, they're not.
But you've given one at your sister's wedding, right?
I did it was a dinner prayer actually. It was
Okay.
grace, and I kind of went all out for it.
Yeah, you're good at that shit though. Like you'd be very good at that. I could see 1,000%.
I think I just like prepare for stuff like that more, where
Yeah.
like you're more naturally funny than I am, and you can wing it, or I don't know.
It's just kind of different. Yeah, I would. I
Yeah,
don't know.
it is
It's
totally
just kinda
different.
Different humor.
I mean, you don't have a lot of pressure given the fucking grace prayer, so that's why. That's why.
yeah, no, yeah, you kill it in that. I think. Yeah, I don't know. I just blanked out,
So Willie was good though.
dude. So that was probably the biggest story from his fucking team. Like basically strong armed me.
How deep is Willie rolling?
Willie had like 3 people with him.
We need to put up a picture of Willie during this
Yeah,
too, so
and like
people
Willie,
know.
like sorry if you nationally, if you're listening, like this might not be that great or funny or whatever, but Willie Wilson is a character. If you go listen to that podcast from February, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. He's also ran for mayor and like office here for like probably a decade now.
What is he, like an 80-year-old
Yes.
African American man who's
Yeah.
just always in politics?
Always in
Chicago?
politics, like super self-made man. Like I respect him a shit ton
Yes,
for that.
businessman.
Very charitable. Always is fucking looking out for people, giving people free gas. Like I genuinely like him a lot.
Yeah.
He's a good man.
I agree. He's
Like,
just funny too.
He's just funny. Like he's Willie. His name's Willie Wilson. Put it this way: if you go to his Wikipedia, it says his former party was the Democratic Party, and his new party is the Willie Wilson Party.
I love
That's-
that. He gives me big Doug Dimmadome vibes.
Yeah,
Was that
yeah,
Fairly
yeah.
Odd Parents?
Yeah.
Willie Wilson, Doug Dimmadome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Doug Dimmadome
Yes.
Foundation.
Yes, exactly.
All right, but go on.
So he, so like a couple, like there was a lot of politicians there, and a couple of them, you know, they went up to speak or whatever, and then by the time it was all like there was like 20 minutes left, and 20 minutes left, it's like, all right, let's get the final push for the raffles and let's raise some money at the deadline. And the band was playing, so like every time I'd have to remind people, I'd be like, hey, pause after this song. You know what I mean?
The band or the Rovers, the bagpipes?
No, this was the band.
The
This was
band?
the
They
band,
had both
yeah.
then?
Yeah, they had both.
Oh,
They,
wow.
they had, well, it was the Chicago Guard of Pipe and Drums. It was not the
Okay.
Rovers.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Chicago Guard of
You
Pipe
were
and
probably up
Drums.
there screaming in the mic, yodeling, then trying
it
to
was-
talk over both.
Well, yeah. So like, they would stop. So I would be like, hey, pause real quick. Let me, take a sip of water. And so it was hard. No need to say, it was 4:40, and like everything was cutting off at 5. Like that was the big thing. These guys are playing, and like, and so I had this guy come up to me. He's like, hey, can Dr. Wilson get the mic and say a few words? And I was like, I'll let you know. Like it's just because of timing. If he was there earlier, yes, no brainer. And I was also kind of looking out for him because nobody could hear shit.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't stop talk. Nobody stopped talking when any of the nobody.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. We'll see. This guy strong-armed the fuck out of me. This guy comes up to me, like kind of squeezes my arm, and is like, "Hey, he just caught a $5,000 check. Let the guy get the bike." And like, here's the thing: in normal situations, I'd be like, "All right, dude, go fuck yourself." But I love Willie, and like this guy was just like, I'm a short guy. This guy was shorter than me. I mean, I'm like average, I guess. I'm not like that short, but like whatever. I'm like 5'9". This guy was shorter than me, so he was like a short guy. He's like a short Italian guy. He's like, just grabs my arm. He's like, "Hey, let's get him the mic." And this guy was so serious that like
a little Danny DeVito.
Yeah, he wasn't that short.
He's still getting on roller coasters.
Yeah. He wasn't that. Like, he was probably like 5'4" or 5'5".
So you handed it over?
And I mean, it was absurd how this. And he did it like 3 times. "Hey, let me get Dr. Wilson on mic. He just caught a $5,000 check."
Hey, I'm not asking anymore. I'm not asking anymore.
I'm not asking. It was, and like I said, normally I'd be like, "Dude, go fuck yourself." But like I love Willie, and like the absurdity of the situation was so funny that I was like, all right, fine. All right, hey, Dr. Wilson, here he comes. He said his word. It was great. It went by fine.
I could picture that guy screaming in the mic, "Hey, you shut up for Dr. Wilson. He's about to talk."
Exactly.
Shut up.
It was fucking funny, dude. And they're like, it was, "Hey, can you play Sweet Home Chicago before he goes up?" I was like, "Dude, I just don't control the music. Like, I'm literally just up here to help keep this thing moving. They were asking me to turn on lights and shit. Not Willie's team, but like other people were asking me to turn on lights. I was like, I don't know how to do anything here. I'm just here to talk and like tell people what's going on." And so it was very funny.
Wow.
Got strong-armed by Willie's people, which is kind of an honor.
Yeah. So did everyone stop and listen for Willie? Or
No, nobody stopped at any time, at any point.
I'm sorry to hear.
No, it's fine. That's what it's there for. If people could have a good, and I think people enjoyed themselves. They had a good Sunday, had some Miller Lights, and we raised a lot of money.
I saw, speaking of music requests, I saw there was a kid over the weekend having sex to your doo-wop playlist.
Oh, did you see that? Yeah. Some guy tweeted me. He said, "Hey, I just want to say that I banged my girlfriend who is part-time at the Hooters in Rockford.
There we go.
To your doo-wop playlist." And I was like,
I just picture a guy going full missionary while like Tutti Frutti's playing in the background.
Tutti Frutti is not on the list. But yeah, I mean, this guy apparently was balls deep in his Hooters part-time waitress to run around Sue, and that's
all you wanted out of your Spotify playlist.
That's an honor. I hope she gets full-time too. Like, in all serious, like if this is an issue.
I love that he had to mention it was part-time.
Yeah, like listen, I've had the CEO of Hooters on this show. He's been one with Willie Wilson. I'll call that guy and we'll get her full-time. As long as she has stronger work ethic.
Or you know why he said part-time? Probably what we were leading back to before. He wanted you to know that she's just hustling on the side and she's like working towards getting her nursing license or what.
That's a great job, Hooters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a great job.
Great wings.
But what an honor. Yeah, what an honor. The man just laying pipe to my doo-wop playlist.
What more could you ask for?
That's why you play the game. That's why you play the game. All right, I think we might be able to wrap there unless you got anything else.
Yeah, no, sorry. There was no feet smelling today or burning hair on fire.
No, it's all right.
Hannah took a sick day.
It was introspective. Is that the right word, Harry?
I think so. I think that makes sense.
Thank you.
In quotes, introspective.
Introspective. A little bit of a recap. Oh, you should have told. I meant to bleed your spitting story. I guess we could finish on that if you want to. Have we done the Loogie story?
Loogie etiquette, we'll call it. We've talked about it somewhere, but whatever. Basically, a couple of years ago, we were sitting. Me and a couple of buddies were outside of a bar, and my one friend just turned his head to hawk a loogie on the ground. He was smoking a cigarette. And as he was doing it, like a kind of a tough guy passed, and he spit right on his jacket. And so we were just saying, like, what do you do? It was clearly an accident, but if you're the guy who got spit on, you can't just be like, oh, it's all right, bro. Like, and what was our conclusion? That whoever spit on him has to at least make enough of an effort to get the spit off himself, or, in some way care enough to not piss off the other guy. Like, you might not expecting him to buy you a new shirt, but you can't just rub it off like, oh, dude, it was an accident. Like, you're going in that bar, you're getting napkins, you're coming back out with them.
But, like, full disclosure, your buddy, the guy made your buddy wipe the loogie off him, right?
Yes.
Yes. Like, he demanded, like, get the fuck over here and wipe this off.
It was kind of like, what the fuck, bro? Like, so my friend, he's like, my friend was all nervous, real nice guy. Mm-hmm. And so I believe he started, this was like 5 years ago at this point. I believe he started to wipe it off with like his own jacket. He's like, oh man, like I'm so sorry. Then he saw him increasingly getting more and more upset. So that's when I think he went in the bar and got a bar napkin.
Oh, that wasn't good enough for him? His own jacket?
Well, it didn't help.
Why? It
It wasn't effective in getting the loogie off.
Wow, this must have been a fucking...
So he was wearing
screamer.
spitting on a jacket, like you spit on this hoodie.
Was it like a White Sox Dave Peacoat type deal? Or what kind of, we talking Columbia?
It was like
puffer?
It was like a Columbia zip up, like one of those black fleece ones that everyone used to own.
Oh, it was a fleece?
Yeah.
Oh, that shit's not going anywhere.
That's what I mean.
You're not seeing that till next wash. You kidding me,
You're throwing
dude? That thing's scraping up.
That's what I mean. It's a tough situation. No one wanted it to happen, but it did.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, do what your friend did and wipe it up with unfortunately, my hand or my jacket or my shirt or whatever.
Well, I should say, what are you going to do if you get spit on in that situation? Are you going to be...
Well, first off, if the person looks super tough, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to walk by and be like, yeah, don't worry about it, bro.
That's probably what I would do.
Yeah.
As long as he wasn't like, fuck this guy, like spit on you. If it was clearly an accident,
a genuine mistake,
there's nothing you can do.
Yes.
But at the same time, some people would be like, oh, you just let that, like, half busting your balls, but half serious, you're going to just let that guy spit on you and not do anything?
Yeah.
If the guy who accidentally spit on me didn't make a gesture to at least help get it off, I'd be mad. Even if it was an accident, you have to be like, oh, I'll get you a napkin. Like I'm
for sure. For sure. Like, yeah, this is a situation where the action is bad and unfortunate, but the reaction is more important than the action.
Totally.
You gotta be sympathetic, dude. You gotta be like, hey, dude, I'm really fucking sorry. What can I do?
There could be just a lot of stubbornness going on in the situation, too.
You can't be like, dude, it's a fucking accident. Get over it.
Right.
Fucking, or yeah.
Because like, spitting on someone is one of the most, if intentional, the meanest thing you could do. Punch me in the face before you spit in my face.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially a loogie, dude.
Totally.
A fucking greener.
While smoking a cig.
Oh, God. That thing had some fucking tobacco in it and shit.
Little hints of ash.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man.
Carcinogen spit.
That's tough, though. Like, yeah, like, it's funny that the fleece is such a fucking game changer, too, dude. Because that needs water. Like, you almost have to put that under the faucet.
Right. Best case scenario, it would have been like a windbreaker.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
coming clean off.
And like, it's gross, but like, you could wipe it off with your and if I was the one that got spit on, I would just walk over and probably just wipe it on the wall.
Sure.
Like the alley, like go to the bricks on the alley.
That's exactly what I was picturing, like on the side of a dumpster.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm doing. Damn, dude.
Hopefully no one finds himself in that situation.
Yeah, dude. What do you think's worse to be, the spitter or the spitty?
Spitter. Personally.
Yeah, because then you're getting yourself.
Worse.
Yeah, because if you're spitting on the wrong person, like that person might see red right away and just try to beat the fuck out of you.
Exactly, like that guy, like the guy with my friend. That's what I mean. I think in most normal circumstances, everyone would understand that it was an accident.
Yeah,
the spitter would do something to.
And I wouldn't fight the person.
Of course not. But there's plenty of people who would.
Oh, there's plenty of people.
Dude, like anyone under the age of 22, if that's like 22-year-olds and that's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Fist.
We talked about how many people get in fights over just bumping people at the bar.
Precisely.
You remember that, dude? There needs to be like a bar PSA. Okay?
What the fuck
Look
is
at that?
that?
Someone's got a fucking foghorn in here. Fucking construction workers.
Jesus. My eyes almost came out of my head. Go on.
Let's enter the Shark Tank. All right?
All right.
Yeah, I love this idea. I'm a genius. You know how there's like before roller coasters, they bring you into a room and they explain all the rules? Mm-hmm. Like, do not put your arms outside the coaster. Do not stand up. Like, do not that.
More like a haunted house or laser quest.
Yes. I was doing the laser quest cadence.
I noticed.
Do not sit, kneel, or lie down. Sorry. But yes.
Yes.
I was thinking like, well, they used to do that like the Batman, like if it's a cool line.
Sure,
at Six Flags, yeah. But yes, like haunted house, they say like, do not touch the people, like do not whatever.
They will fuck you up.
Yes, exactly. There needs to be a little section people go to before they go into bars. And it just needs to be like, here's Johnny, here's Timmy. they accidentally bumped into each other at the bar, and then Timmy curb stomped him, and he put him into a coma, and then he did 9 years in Cook County Prison. Like, you know, and like, don't do that. It's only a bump. You'll be okay. Go have fun.
With like the terrible actors.
Yes.
You know, okay.
I mean,
yeah.
that's genius.
I think it is too. Most people would think it's like common knowledge. Don't get in a fight, but
But you're
when
not
you're drunk, everything goes out the window.
This needs to be a college town thing.
College
specifically,
town.
teach them young.
This is what happens in our town when you participate in violence.
Yes,
under
or
the
those
influence.
or those bars that let the underagers in.
Yeah. True.
You know what I mean? Like so many fucking like.
Just an automated video that plays every time you go like within a vestibule of a bar. Then you are now free to enter the bar.
Yes, I'd like to. Should I do Fight Week here one time where it's like someone who comes in here and he was the, you know. He was the guy who got stomped and he lived to tell the tale. And then one guy was the stomper and he did time. And it's like, hey, let's try to do a PSA. For the people listening.
Like that's like what they do at prom at high school. What is it called?
Operation Prom.
Operation Prom.
Yeah.
Operation Bar.
Operation Bar. See, kind of serious. Like, bar fighting is not smart, people.
No.
Be smart.
Very little risk reward.
Yeah. All right, that was a good close.
All right, I like it. I like it.
Close.
I'm in. I'll invest. But I will say my only qualm is all that goes out the window when you're drunk. You're not gonna be like, oh fuck, I just remembered that instructional video. I can't fight this guy. That guy spits on you, you're clocking him.
No, but yeah.
That's fair though. But it's good because you warned them.
Yeah,
right. They know.
Yeah.
You know, hey, if you get too handsy in our bar, refer to the video.
Then if you do that, then you give them the chair. It's like, all right, you're going straight to jail.
The chair. Death.
Death chair.
All I did was get in a bar fight. You're dying.
Out.
You're dying.
See you.
We're going to kill you.
Jesus.
All right. Hopefully Cuban heard that one.
No, I think, no, Hershevek's too much of a pussy for that one. Wonderful would enjoy it. Or Barbara Corcoran.
Okay.
You know? I saw so many stupid guys get into a fight because they bumped each other. I didn't like it.
Who's your all-star shark lineup? One girl. You can have one girl and how many do they usually have? 1, 2, 5? So one girl and 4 guys.
I like Lori better, but I think Barbara might be more entertaining.
So
and Lori's from Chicago though too. So.
Same, but you already have a heel with Mr. Wonderful, so I kind of don't need Barbara.
But I like when they go at each other. Like that's a great dynamic.
It's to the Clash of the Titans.
Yes.
But then there's also what's Damon? I don't know. I don't know if he's in mine, but because you can't rule out Cuban.
Cuban and Wonderful are locks.
I've always said.
And Hershevek's such a baby. Well, he's not a baby. He just cries. I like that.
If I was doing like a celebrity roast or something, I would gather the meanest people, not like the funniest, just the meanest. And so far, I think I would have Mr. Wonderful, Judge Judy, Gordon Ramsay, Eminem, and I think there's one more.
That's a good.
That's a good 4. That's a good Mount Rushmore of mean people.
That's a good one. You did a good job there.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I guess
maybe the girl from what's her name? You Are the Weakest Link. Goodbye.
Oh, she's good.
Yeah,
they brought that show back. It's pretty good.
With Jane Lynch though.
It's a good. Yeah,
we've seen Jane Lynch be too funny not to take her serious. Which is mean. Sorry, Jane.
Sorry, Jane. Yeah, Cuban, Damon, Robert, Mr. Wonderful, Barbara, probably.
Okay.
You?
Fair. I'd say Cuban, Robert, Mr. Wonderful. I go Lori. Yeah,
I like Lori better.
And you gotta go Damon.
I like the dynamic of.
Barbara's such a bitch, dude.
Yeah, it's great though. It's awesome.
There's one. I was watching one, and the lady was like, "It's just been so hard. You know, I have a son at home. He has ADHD. Like, we have to do a lot of extra stuff, you know, to work with him. And I'm trying to do that and balance the business." And Barbara's like, "Yeah, I empathize with you. I have a son with ADD too, but that has nothing to do with business. I'm out." We need barbers in the world.
Yes.
To keep people in check.
Yes, for sure.
Like, no one really gives a fuck if you're suffering.
Absolutely. Tell people to go just fucking live that.
Maybe I'll add Barbara to my roasties.
Yeah,
roasters.
She'd be good.
Yeah,
she'd be good.
2 sharks.
All right then, Danny.
All right, Eddie.
Thank you. This was fun. This was good.
Mm-hmm.
It went now introspective, and then we got stupid spective.
Who needs Hannah?
Yes.
You know,
she's in the hot seat. Thanks everybody for listening. That's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow. We will see you then.